Hey everyone, let's talk about Gen Z and debt. It's been making headlines and sparking a lot of debate, and we're seeing these reports saying this generation, those born roughly between 1997 and 2012, are facing some serious financial hurdles. Like right out of the gate, they're already in trouble. It's got a lot of people asking, is this just young people not knowing how to manage money? Or is there something bigger going on here? Well, one of the things that really jumps out at me is just the sheer amount of debt Gen Z is carrying. Think about it, we're talking about an average of over $94,000 per person. I mean, that's more than millennials and even Gen X at a similar stage in life. And it's not just credit card debt. A big chunk of this is student loans, which makes sense considering the skyrocketing cost of college these days. But here's where it gets really interesting. Even when you factor in student loans, Gen Z still has higher levels of debt across other categories, like credit cards and personal loans. So, what's going on here? Is it just that they're more comfortable with debt than previous generations? Or are they being forced to take on more debt just to keep up with the rising cost of living? I mean, think about it. They're graduating into a world where wages haven't kept pace with inflation. Housing costs are through the roof in many parts of the country. And then you add on things like healthcare expenses. And it's no wonder they're feeling the squeeze. I know some people might say, well, they just need to learn to budget better. And while financial literacy is definitely important, it's not the whole story. It's easy to just point fingers and say it's about avocado toast and lattes, but the reality is much more complex than that. We have to consider the context. Gen Z is coming of age in a time of, well, economic recession, political polarization, a global pandemic. I mean, they're facing a level of uncertainty and instability that previous generations just didn't have to deal with. And let's not forget about the constant barrage of news about climate change and other global crises. I mean, it's enough to make anyone feel anxious about the future. So what can we do? How can we support Gen Z as they navigate all these financial challenges? First, we need to acknowledge that it's not just about personal responsibility. There are systemic issues at play here, like income inequality, rising housing costs, and just the soaring price of education. I mean, these are big problems, complex problems that require systemic solutions. We also need to shift our mindset a little bit. Instead of blaming young people for their financial struggles, let's focus on empowering them with the knowledge and resources they need to make good decisions, informed decisions. That means having open conversations about money, about debt and financial goals. It means making financial literacy education more accessible and relevant to their lives. And for Gen Z themselves, my advice would be this: don't let the fear of debt paralyze you. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but remember, you're not alone. There are people and organizations out there who want to help. Focus on building your skills, pursuing your passions, and creating a life that aligns with your values. And most importantly, don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Whether it's from a financial advisor, a mentor, or a trusted friend or family member, having that support system can make all the difference. One thing that gives me hope is that Gen Z is incredibly resourceful and resilient. I mean, this is a generation that's grown up with technology. It's at their fingertips. They're comfortable adapting to change and finding those creative solutions. We're already seeing them come up with innovative ways to manage their finances, from side hustles and the gig economy to online communities where they can share tips and support each other. And speaking of innovation, technology itself might hold some of the keys to helping Gen Z get a handle on their debt. We're seeing this rise in fintech apps and platforms designed to help them budget, save, invest, and manage their loans. These tools, they can be game changers, especially for young people just starting out who might not have a lot of financial experience. It's easy to get caught up in the doom and gloom, all those statistics. But I think it's important to remember that this generation also has the potential to drive real change. They're already demanding more transparency and accountability from institutions, and they're not afraid to challenge the status quo. So while the challenges are real and the road ahead may be bumpy, I have a sense of optimism about the future. Gen Z is smart, they're driven, and they're passionate about creating a better world. And with the right support and resources, they have the potential to not only overcome this debt crisis, but to build a more just and prosperous future for everyone.